All right, welcoming you to our mindfulness meditation. I'm so grateful you found your way here, and I hope that you can spend the next 20 minutes enjoying this space together as a community of friends. We've become friends over the years. Even if you are joining us for the very first time, you're welcome here and you're part of this community. So we're going to do a meditation tonight. We'll begin with some basic mindfulness, getting settled. We want to develop a practice where we learn to stay present to what is happening to us without judgment. That's kind of the kicker. It's kind of a hard one. Just being present to each moment as it unfolds. And so the purpose of this is to train ourselves to stay present, as I said, helpful to understand that this fabric of life that we are living is incredibly rich, this human experience. And we don't want to miss a moment, right? This type of mindfulness practice has been shown to manage stress. And I really love the practice of developing, honing my awareness of awareness itself. So we'll get there gradually. We'll go through the layers of posture and breath, emotion, and then we'll get to awareness. And then I'm going to share a little special meditation that's actually an interpretation of a song you all know. So we're going to meditate on that as well. And this is, I will give credit where credit is due, inspired by David McGinley, who was one of our webinar guests lecturing on spirituality and cancer a little while back. So I follow him on Facebook, and he shared this amazing interpretation of the song Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So I'm gonna put my spin on it, and we'll go through that at the very end. So that's a little bit about what we're gonna do. And if anything doesn't feel like something you want, any place you want to go, you're welcome to do something different. You're welcome to turn off your camera or leave if you need to just leave. So I just want to make sure you know that this is a trauma-informed space. All right, let's begin. If you haven't moved a lot today and you need to do a little stretch, I invite you to just maybe stretch the arms or move the head from side to side. And if you haven't gotten a hug today, give yourself a hug. Maybe even if you have gotten a hug and you need another hug, give yourself a hug. And then we'll begin with just a little bit of getting settled. So take a moment or two or three to really find a comfortable way to sit or recline. You could be seated or reclining for this practice. Shift in your chair, take a sip of water, get settled, make an adjustment so you are coming into this space caring for yourself. Setting a little boundary around this time. This time is your time. It's for you to be exactly as you are, in whatever state of being you are in. Beginning by noticing the way your body is being supported right now. So maybe noticing the seat or the couch or the bed or the floor underneath you. Maybe you want to let yourself soften into that a little bit. Feel the safety of that foundation. And from there, I might notice the length in my spine. There are parts of the body where I tend to collect tension, like the jaw or the shoulders. I might take a breath and let those areas relax for a moment. If you haven't already and you would like to, you could close the eyes. So beginning to turn my awareness to a more internal place. I've noticed my body and my posture. And now I'm looking inward to the sensations of breathing. And so just noticing the inhale, noticing the exhale, maybe taking a few more conscious breaths to enter into this space of mindfulness, sipping the air in, gently expelling the air out. Again, my only goal with my mindfulness practice is to stay present to what is without judgment. So I could observe that my breath isn't coming easily right now. And I want to let go of that judgment and just go to a more observational place. And just let the breath come in and out and take a step back. Be the observer to the sensations of breathing, as if you've been plunked down into this body for the first time. And you're noticing the breath coming in, breath moving out. See if you could stay with that awareness on the breath for a little while. Just letting the breath be a refuge, be a sanctuary for you, a place you can go. And continuing to just mindfully observe the posture of the body and the breath moving in and out of the body. And allowing the thoughts that come in to also go out. So just observing whether there's a busyness in the mind as well. So we've got a couple layers here we're being mindful of. And we can toggle our awareness between these various layers and just stay present. And if I've come to this meditation feeling a lot of stress, I might allow my body to relax by doing a little mini body scan. So I could inhale, and as I exhale, I'm letting the shoulders relax. I could breathe in, and as I breathe out, I could let my arms be heavy, my hands rest. Moving down the entire length of the body into the belly, the low back, down the lengths of both legs into the feet. And maybe even imagining, if you will, sort of a liquid relaxation that you can pour over the entire body. And every exhalation, that liquid relaxation just seeps a little farther in and down. So I've given my powerful mind something to do, to move around my body, relax my body. And then I can come back to that toggling back and forth between the various layers of my awareness, including awareness itself. Becoming aware that I actually have the ability to shine this light on these various aspects of my human experience. And you can practice mini mindfulness sessions anytime you want, while you're standing doing the dishes. Awareness of the posture, awareness of the breath, awareness of thoughts, emotions, awareness of awareness. And this awareness becomes a place of refuge. It is unchanging. This light that shines on all the various things is unchanging. Maybe as you go into an infusion or a treatment, you can practice using this incredible power of awareness to observe. And if that feels too stressful, you can do a body scan or stay with your breath. So that's a little mini mindfulness session for you. What I'd like to do now is switch gears a bit and share my interpretation of David McGinley's interpretation of the song Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Okay, so I'm going to invite you in your mind's eye, if you still have your eyes closed or you want to close your eyes, and just imagine a beautiful body of water. Maybe you can see the sun dappling, dancing on the water. And you can picture a beautiful little wooden rowboat. And you can see or feel yourself in this rowboat. So as you're rowing your boat, the first line of the song, row your boat. And this is an invitation to be an active participant in your life, in your healing journey. You're rowing. You're not just sitting there doing nothing. You're actually here tonight or whatever time it is for you, meditating in community with others. So you're actively participating in your healing journey. You're rowing your boat. So picturing yourself and what that means for you to row your boat. Maybe that means advocating for yourself, getting a second opinion, waiting until you fully understand what everything means before moving forward. Being an active participant, row your boat. And then rowing your boat, right? I'm not letting anybody else row my boat. I'm in this boat. And I'm also not trying to row anybody else's boat. So it's my boat. And we've all got our boats. We're all rowing our boats here. Maybe in my visualization, we're all on this body of water and our boat's rowing along. And that would actually be quite nice to look out across the lake and see Frank or Edith or Dottie or Karen rowing their boats too. And I see you've got your boat under control, that you're doing what you can to navigate your own journey. This is your healing journey, not mine. So you're rowing your boat. You're actively doing something to participate in your own healing journey, and it's yours, not someone else's. And how are you doing this? You're doing this gently. You're doing this gently down the stream. So you're somewhat in control of this boat, right? But you're also part of a larger current, this stream of life. And sometimes there are things here that are out of your control. So it's helpful to be gentle and maybe go with the flow sometimes. Maybe a little bit of letting go, a little bit of surrendering. So there's this balance of being active with your rowing. Sometimes you've got to just sort of take a break from that and let the current carry you. So we're going gently down the stream. Maybe you want to picture how that would feel to be carried by a higher power, to be able to trust in that current. So this active participation in the healing journey sometimes requires a little letting go and awareness that you're not always in control, but it still is your journey. And how are you doing it? Merrily, 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 merrily. They say it 4 times so that we get it, that this is an incredible gift, that we try to have joy and positivity with the understanding that it's not always possible, but that we want to try to have that joy, to cultivate gratitude when we can. So we're going merrily down this stream, sometimes rowing, aware that we are navigating our own course. And the final line of the song, life is but a dream. So this waking life we live in this physical realm is but one aspect of our human experience. And when we become more in touch with our awareness of the body and its fluctuations, our awareness of the mental churnings of the mind, awareness of strong emotions that come and go, we can see that awareness is the unchanging thing. And that the life we are so attached to living here is but a dream, one aspect of the human experience. You might have a different way you want to interpret that line. That's my interpretation, in complete agreement with David's interpretation. And he is somebody who has been to great depths. So to sort of conclude, we'll just go back to being in our boats and realizing that this song, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream, is actually a song that's meant to be sung in a round. So we really don't want to do this thing alone. So here we are in our boats, each charting our own courses of our healing journey. We have our own will. We know when to let go. Maybe we don't, and we're learning that. And we're not alone. So for a moment or two longer, if you would like to marinate on that a bit more for yourself, maybe take some breaths. Sometimes I really want someone else to come into my rowboat and row for me when I get tired, right? And that's when I can just sort of lay back and enjoy the feeling of the ebb and flow of the breath. So I don't always have to be doing all the time. I can just be being here with you. And as we come out of our meditative space gently, I like to really emphasize that word gently. Maybe sending some tendrils of connection out to each other. A lot of us going through hard things. And the tendrils of support can also recognize all of the hard things we have already experienced and how that has made us who we are. And with that sense of connection, let that fabric of interwoven tendrils be a sort of system of support, foundation that we can always tap into. Just sending a tendril out into the ether. I feel it. I know it's real. And more on that in the upcoming wellness newsletter, research that talks about this sense of connection that we can actually affect each other's well-being through the power of the mind. Coming out of our meditation gently, maybe blinking the eyes open, maybe stretching through the arms or fingers. If you want to keep resting or keep meditating, you're welcome to do that. If you need to get going, of course, you can do that. And I will just close our practice this evening with the sound of one Om and 3 Shantis for peace. You can listen or join in on your ends wherever you are. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And thanking you so much for your practice this evening. Namaste.